So they made a Buzz Lightyear movie, and I'm sorry, I didn't get it. Not even from the beginning. Nothing about the movie looked even remotely interesting to me, especially for a movie based on a toy from a well-beloved children's movie franchise. I spent months watching the media, months, from the first trailer, talk about how wonderful a Lightyear movie looked, and how awesome Disney and Pixar are. But I honestly felt like I was living in Crazy Town. The movie looked terrible to me. I knew it would fail. So when the movie came out and it actually did do poorly, I was like, that's what I've been saying for months now. The only thing that looked even remotely impressive about this movie were the graphics. And if you didn't know, good graphics don't make a good movie. I was honestly baffled. I really wanted someone to convince me that this was going to be a good movie, but I couldn't see it at all, and nobody would convince me. It looked like a very expensive, boring slog of a movie. So here's why I knew that this movie, Lightyear, would inevitably fail. Step inside my mind during my year of Pixar insanity. Now I watched the trailer. The first thing I noticed was how hyper-realistic it was. Star Command, I guess, is what we are looking at here. Pretty convincing, I suppose, but then I'm like, considering the source material, why is everything so colorless and drab and lifeless? Isn't this supposed to be a kid's movie? The ship looks boring. The technology looks boring. It looks like it's about as interesting as the actual flight technology that NASA and the US Air Force use in real life. I mean, Pixar, are you aware that you're making an animated fictional movie? You can literally do anything with that, you know. Okay, whatever. I'm just wondering why the whole time. The ship on the box in the actual Toy Story movies looks more interesting to me. And as it turns out, that was the problem with the rest of the trailer. Why are all the colors so muted? That's boring. You got a sepia tone filter on half the scenes and the other scenes are taking place at night or in a dark area or room. There seems to be like 3 characters for the majority of the movie. What exactly are you doing, Pixar? It's like they said, let's make a Stargate SG-1 movie, but animated, but add Star Wars, but boring. And add some of the movie where Matt Damon is stuck on Mars for months alone, but make it for kids. So we'll add some really bad jokes. And there was one joke in the second trailer at the end about a finger thing. I chuckled. But the rest of the dialogue was boring and unfunny. Half of the jokes seemed to be one character responding to another character with cynicism. Cynicism does not a good joke make. Really? 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 That's not funny. Now, back to the point. Why exactly does Hollywood think hyperrealism is what kids want to see? I can assure you, they don't care about that. I mean, honestly, do you think this is the Pokemon that kids wanted to see? Is this the Power Rangers that kids wanted to see? Is this the Barney and Friends kids wanted to see? Was this the Sonic the Hedgehog that anyone wanted to see? No, it isn't. Another thing, all the characters were weird ages, and also all human for some reason. Buzz is supposed to be a space explorer that fights aliens preserving the Intergalactic Alliance, but we get old people and a black girl who sounds like Keke Palmer when she isn't acting, and has a very distracting accent, which they all seem to have very distracting accents. And not distracting because they're bad by themselves, distracting because why am I focusing on the accents of the characters when I should be focusing on what's happening in the movie? Great for diversity, but do you know why that's distracting? It isn't as if these characters were just different ethnicities. They had incredibly different accents and dialects, and I'm guessing slang too. So immediately you have to wonder, what part of the star system are you from? The south side of the star system? Planet Mexico? The Florida sector? In an intergalactic universe, wouldn't it make more sense for everyone speaking the same language to, I don't know, have similar accents? Instead of focusing on the unique universe and the diversity therein, I'm focusing on why this space explorer sounds like they're from Detroit when they weren't raised in Detroit. Does Detroit even exist in the Lightyear universe? Do all black people in space sound like they're from somebody's inner city? And another thing, what is this movie even about? I can't tell. Buzz is going through a Stargate and is jettisoned into the future, I guess, because of, I don't know, but now he's on a mission to do, I don't know, to prevent, I don't know, with a ragtag team of mostly older people. The plot seems to be as vague and generic as the sepia tone filter that they slapped on everything. Obviously, if you watch the movie, you'd know, but the trailer made no sense. So for the entire year, I'm like, why would anybody see this movie? I can't tell what it's about, and it looks boring. The whole year, no one could explain to me what I was missing. I wish I understood because I love Toy Story. Each movie, in fact. I loved the Buzz Lightyear of Star Command TV series. It was engaging and funny and colorful and interesting. Look, aliens. Look, an evil emperor. Look, lasers and fighting. Look, jokes whose premises aren't basically saying, really? Never seen the movie, okay? But I bet that one of the jokes in the actual movie, I'm 95% sure, makes fun of Buzz's suit, like, why are you wearing a big green suit? That's not funny. What's the premise of the joke anyway? Making fun of the fact that this is a kid's franchise? You had perfectly good source material to make a great movie with in Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. You screwed it up. You lost money, and most will never be interested in seeing this movie again. Kids probably didn't even like it. It got bad reviews, all of which was completely avoidable. Maybe we should stop making kids' movies for the adults that make them. I'm not even mentioning the political stuff because I didn't see the movie to comment on that, and I probably wouldn't care in the first place. From the outset, despite all of that, it was a very boring looking movie for what it was trying to do. Tell a space adventure about Buzz Lightyear. I don't know, I just feel bamboozled. I don't generally comment on bad movies or bad takes because that's not what I do, unless it has some particularly interesting cultural nuances. But with this, I legitimately felt like I was being gaslit by a major corporation for a year.
But I feel better now. I hope we all feel better now.